Hello, today I just want to have a chat about the upcoming TPD compliance, the Tobacco Products Directive, how it affects the consumer and what it means for you, whether you're just going to be starting out vaping or more experienced. So, what's it all about? Well, effectively they're bringing in rules to supposedly make vaping safer. So if you're using one of these, or looking to use one of these, you're going to be affected by TPD compliance. So there are various bits about it, like I say, the advertising and such like, which really don't affect the consumer as such. However, the bits that do, I'll quickly cover off now. First of all, tanks. That's your tank there. For anybody who doesn't know what these are, there you go. That's basically an e-cigarette, a kit, a vaping kit. And the tanks are going to be restricted to 2 ml in liquid capacity. So the maximum amount of e-liquid this can hold is 2 ml. And the reason for that, because this one is already TPD compliant. It's the Aspire Nautilus 2. So 2 ml maximum capacity. Now, the reason that is a bone of contention is for two reasons. Nobody's really sure why they've brought this rule in. I certainly haven't been able to find out anybody who can specifically say why they're restricting it to 2 ml. The problem is, and the reason people don't like it, is because your experienced vapers, 2 ml isn't big enough. Now, if you're just starting out, actually, you know, or you're a light vapor, in other words, you don't do it very much, 2 ml is probably perfectly fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever. 2 ml a tank will probably last you all day. However, if you're a really heavy vapor, an experienced and is using the types of people who have these big clouds and the such like, 2 ml is not enough. You're going to get through that pretty darn quick. Now that means that you're going to have to start carrying e-liquid around with you when you're off to work or you're out and about shopping or socialising and such like. You're going to have to carry bottles with you to fill these up. So they don't like it. However, there is a kind of loophole to the whole thing, which is where the stupidity comes in. Is you can, for some tanks, not all, I don't think you can for this one, not yet anyway, you can buy extension kits which increase the capacity to 3.5, 4, even 5 ml. Now, they're perfectly legal for me to sell them to you. So I've got to sell you a 2 ml tank, but I can sell you an extension kit which will increase the capacity, which is perfectly okay. So what we'll see coming on the market is more and more tanks with an optional extra of a extension kit, or in fact what you might even see is tanks being sold with in 2 ml form, but with an extension kit in the box to increase it to 4 or 5 or whatever mil. Crackers. So, but of course this sort of thing always happens when politicians get involved in things. They never quite get things right. They come up with stupid reasons to bring in stupid laws. So that covers the tank. Now the next bone of contention for people is e-liquids. So your e-liquids, there's a bottle of e-liquid, bog standard, ultimate version 2 e-liquid. This is a 10 ml bottle. So from now on, or from the 20th of May, you're not going to be able to buy any more 20 ml, 30 ml or even 100 ml bottles. The maximum size you can have is 10 ml. Now the issue with that, again, from a beginner's point of view, or again a light user, not really an issue. A 10 ml bottle's fine. That would last somebody just starting out. That 10 ml liquid will last you a few days. So you'll be able to fill your tank, your 2 ml tank, once a day, and that will suffice. However, again, very heavy vapors or vapors who produce a huge cloud. You'll have seen them out and about they like their clouds, but the clouds are there for a practical reason. Actually, they're people who are looking for a really high flavour, good quality flavour from high premium liquids. And to produce that much cloud, you go through e-liquid, a lot of it. And the problem with that is that a 10ml bottle, for some people, wouldn't last them 5 minutes. So they're up in arms about it. So what can you do about it? Well, actually, there are a lot. I mean, there are a couple of ways around it. One is you can make your own e-liquids, but that can be messy and people don't want to mess around with it. Secondly, you could simply buy these. The price of this doesn't change. I'm selling at the moment, or I was, I've finished selling them now. I was selling 30ml bottles of Mum's Home Baked for £10. I'm now going to be selling 3 10ml bottles for £10. So you can still buy your 30ml of liquid just in 3 little bottles. Potentially you could probably take that liquid out and pour it into a bigger bottle if you didn't want to carry around 3 little bottles with you. But you know, it gets all a bit messy. There's no need for it. So 10ml bottles, absolutely ridiculous. No real reason for it that I can see, or anybody else seems to be able to see. So again, politicians getting involved, crackers. So is there anything good about TPD from a consumer's point of view? Well, actually, I think yes. And this is obviously an opinion. I think yes. The one thing that I think is good about it is regulated liquids. In other words, this is TPD compliant. So the e-liquid inside here has been tested in a government laboratory and has been proven to be good quality and as safe as an e-liquid can be to inhale. But bearing in mind you're inhaling this stuff into your lungs. Up till now, the e-liquids that you've been buying, you've absolutely got, as a consumer, you've got absolutely no idea what makes up those e-liquids. Whether you know, and especially if you're buying them from marketplaces, up till now people have been able to make e-liquids in their sheds, in their back gardens, and sell it to you as a perfectly legitimate e-liquid. Some of them are actually very, very professional looking with nice labelling and all the rest of it. But e-liquids now have to be tested before they can be put on sale, and that testing costs a lot of money. So a lot of these cowboys that are selling liquids made up of ingredients like battery acid are going to be stopped, hopefully. All of the liquids I sell on cloudvapinguk.co.uk are already TPD compliant, which means they're all regulated, they've all been tested, and they've passed those tests. So there are certain colourings and flavourings that aren't allowed now to be put into e-liquids, which have traditionally been put into e-liquids. People haven't really cared what they've put into them as long as the contents were legal, but they're not necessarily ingredients that were particularly good for your health. Well, now the ingredients that were deemed to be bad for you have now been made effectively illegal. So now when you buy e-liquids from a responsible retailer, whether it be online or in a shop, as long as they are effectively not willing to break the law, which we're certainly not here, you will be able to vape safe in the knowledge that the liquids that you're inhaling, the vapour you're inhaling, is being produced by a liquid that has been fully tested and certified. And that, I think, is the one good thing that comes out of TPD. It will get rid of a lot of the cowboys out there who are making this stuff in their sheds, in their garages, their allotments, whatever it happens to be, and selling it to you, the consumer, as a high quality product, when in fact you've actually got no way of knowing what ingredients were making up that product until now. And that for me is the one good thing about TPD. If this is going to be a responsible industry, that's the one thing that it should embrace, is the fact that the liquids should be a lot safer than they were previously. And all I can say is that if you have any doubt, you can actually go onto the government's website and you can check if the liquid you're buying is TPD compliant. They've actually got a list on there of all the liquids that have been tested. So there are ways you can even check that the person that's selling it to you is genuine. But even then, actually, if it's TPD compliant, you won't be able to see it. But there is a tiny little number on each bottle with its TPD compliant number stamped on each bottle, and that number is relevant to this flavoured e-liquid of this nicotine content. The same flavoured liquid with a different nicotine content is tested separately, so it has a different certification number. And that means that you can buy e-liquid safe in the knowledge that they're as healthy as they possibly can be for you, the consumer. So I hope this little video has been of some use to you. And again, if you've got any questions, feel free to go to www.cloudvapinguk.co.uk and either fire off an email, pick up the phone and ring us, whatever you want to do, and we're here to help. Thank you very much. Goodbye.